Hey everyone, Epic Edge back again with another Genshin Impact video. So we're a little less than a week away from the launch of patch 1.2, and that means we're also a little less than a week away from the release of Albedo. As in most cases, when a new character becomes available in a gacha game, the question most people are asking is whether or not they should pull for the new hero. With that in mind, let's take a closer look at whether the Chief Alchemist of the Knights of Avonius is worth your hard-earned Primogems. So let's start off by looking at Albedo's E. It's called a Biogenesis Solar Isotoma. Albedo creates a solar isotoma using alchemy, dealing AoE geo damage. At specific intervals, hits on enemies within the isotoma field will cause the isotoma to generate transient blossoms. So those are those little flowers that you're seeing there. And those will deal AoE geo damage again, but this time based on Albedo's defense. Only one isotoma can exist at any time, and these isotomas are considered geoconstructs. So let's take a look at the multipliers here, and you'll see that, the multipliers aren't bad. They're not great, but they're not bad. Most people will have their skills up around level 5 or 6, and these values are not bad. The fact that you have defense scaling here means that your gear requirements for Albedo are gonna be a little lower. So if you roll maybe once or twice into defense percentage or flat defense, it's not gonna hurt as much. Now, you can also stand on the solar isotoma itself, and you'll find yourself on a floating platform that lifts you up into the sky, as you can see here. This should protect you from most melee enemies. We don't know how high you'll be exactly, so there might be a chance that giant enemies like the big boy hilichurls might still reach you, but for the most part, this should keep a lot of your squishies safe. And this effect is extra useful, I think, because it can easily be comboed with catalyst users like Klee, who can just rain her bombs all day long, or Ningguang, whose auto attacks are like homing missiles. So you keep these squishies safe and they'll dish out tons of damage. And in the event that you feel like jumping off of the platform and back on the ground, because those attacks will trigger the blossoms and geo damage, there should be a good amount of shields waiting for you down below, which will further boost your survivability. Now let's take a look at Albedo's Q, or his elemental burst. Rite of Progeniture. Crystallized Geo Energy bursts forth at Albedo's command, dealing AoE Geo damage in front of him. If a solar isotoma created by Albedo is on the field, 7 Fatal Blossoms, which are these flowers that you see over there exploding, will be generated inside the solar isotoma field and dealing AoE Geo damage. Now, it's important to note that the skill damage itself and the Fatal Blossom damage will not generate transient blossoms, which are the extra AoE hits from Albedo's E. Taking a look at Albedo's Q numbers, decent numbers on the burst damage. The Fatal Blossom damage might not be as eye-popping at first glance, but in theory this should still deal some very good passive damage, since 7 of these are gonna pop off right around at the same time. So at level 6 it's about 100% each, so 100 times 7, 700%. Pretty good numbers, right? What makes this skill really good, in my opinion, is the very low cooldown and energy cost. As you see here, it's only 12 seconds at a 40 point energy cost. So this means that you can really easily combo from your E into your Q. Very often you can spam this really, really quickly if you have some decent energy recharge on your build. Overall, I think his skill set is pretty interesting and flows really well. So this will allow you to switch to him, drop your combo, and provide some good run numbers to supplement your main DPS. Now, taking all of this into account, I think Albedo's skills should make him a very, very, very easy character to use, especially for newer players. If you're still a little iffy or on the fence over pulling for Albedo after taking a look at his skills, it might be a good idea to check which 4 stars will accompany him on his banner. Now, as of recording, there is still no official announcement from MiHoYo, but we can make some calculated guesses on who those 3 4-stars will be based on these 4 previous banners that we've had. First off, and I think a lot of you will have noticed this, is that the 4-star characters that arrive on the banner will never be of the same element as the featured 5-star. This has gone on for the last 4 banners, and there is no indication that this will change in Albedo's banner. Now, that said, since Albedo is a Geo character, we will probably not see Noel. Second, I doubt MiHoYo will include recently featured 4-stars. So the 4-stars in the Child and Zhongli banners are probably out. We're not going to see them anytime soon. Lastly, I've noticed that the reception for Albedo online has been relatively meh, you know. So I'm going to guess that they'll want to put a lot of good 4-star characters to compensate. You know, these 4-stars are going to be tempting because they have been universally proven to be very good no matter what team you're running. Taking all of this into consideration, I think these are the 3 characters who will be on Albedo's banner. First up, we have Bennett. He's a Pyro character, and he is one of the best support units in the game. His Q is incredible with its heals and attack buff, and you know, you can build him as a sub DPS if you wanted to. That's how great he is. And even if he was free in the shop last month or 2 months ago, I think people will still pull for him just to get the constellations up even further. Now, the same can be said for Xingqiu. He is a very, very good Hydro support unit, and his element allows you to combo with a lot of the most popular DPS characters that we currently have in the game. And just like Bennett, a lot of people will probably be enticed by this kind of a banner just to get his constellations up. Lastly, we have Rosaria. She is a cryo character, and that's the reason why I think she's going to be the 3rd unit in Albedo's banner, because her element would clash with Ganyu. Now, of course, this is all speculation, so take this with a grain of salt, but this is probably the lineup I would come up with if I worked for MiHoYo. So, Albedo, pass or pull? If you're a whale or you've already decided to spend whatever ang pao and Christmas money you're going to get next week, then yeah, sure, go ahead and pull for Albedo. If you're into pretty boy husbandos, yeah, by all means, go ahead and pull for Albedo. If you don't have a Zhongli or Ningguang and really, really want a Geo 5-star character, then sure, you can pull for Albedo. If you are relatively new and did not reroll for a 5-star, I think your Primogems are better off being spent on the permanent banner and hoping to grab like a Diluc or a Kitsing. You know, those 2 characters will offer so much more value to you. If you're a little short on Primogems when patch 1.2 hits, you might just be better off passing on both Albedo and Ganyu and placing all your focus on saving up for Xiao in patch 1.3. You know, there's a reason why a lot of players are hyped for Xiao, and you know, he looked like an absolute brute of DPS during the closed beta. Now, this isn't to say that Albedo is bad. On the contrary, I think he can be pretty good. I think his utility is pretty decent, and he can be a good source of passive damage if your team needs that. It's just that I think Ganyu is the more interesting character of the 2. Even if we set aside the fact that Ganyu is the first waifu banner. So, as a mostly free-to-play, by the way, player, I'm gonna have to pass on Albedo. Although I think he has some great potential, I just have Ganyu higher on my wishlist. And that's gonna wrap up this look at Albedo. If you found this helpful, please don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe to the channel. We'll have a lot more Genshin Impact videos coming your way very, very soon. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, stay epic.